We're here with head men's basketball coach Ricky Yahn as we get ready for CIT this coming weekend. Coach, this is your fourth CIT. What do you think makes this tournament so special?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's hard to believe. It's been 4 years for me already. I've kind of been joking with some of our staff in the athletic department here that once we get to Nebraska, I've been to all 4 venues and kind of makes me official Concordian. But it's really a great event. I think obviously, as probably is the case for anybody, before you experience one, you maybe don't appreciate it fully. But having now been at 3 of the different venues, certainly hosting it here, it's just great to see familiar faces. All the different people that, it seems like the same people I'll see in Wisconsin, Chicago, here in Ann Arbor, I'm sure, be in Nebraska as well. So it's a really, really neat environment for our guys to play in front of a big crowd. And certainly, especially if you end up playing the host school or being the host school, those games are pretty special.
Yeah, you've got one win as a coach in those 4 years, obviously, winning here at home back 2 years ago. Talk about that moment and what do you remember about that game?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a really, really great experience. It kind of lined up well that was obviously a really special year for us. It came in a year that we set a school record for wins, and we won that game at the buzzer, and really that was kind of symbolic of that season. We'd had 4 or 5 games up to that point that we had won at the buzzer, and I think it kind of prepared us for that. And it was great to win that type of game, that type of environment. Certainly being at home made it really special, and hopefully we'll be able to do something similar this year.
On Friday, you guys opened up against Concordia, Wisconsin. What can we expect from their team?
Well, it'll, in some ways, I think, be a little bit of a contrast in styles. They really are scoring the ball well lately. I think maybe all 5 of their last 5 games, certainly 4 of the last 5 games, they've scored 80 or more. I know they've had a couple games this season, multiple games this season, over 100 points. They can really spread you out. They really shoot the ball well from 3. They probably shoot it as well as anybody that we've played all year. And then on the flip side, earlier in the year, we were scoring the ball a lot. So I think if it does become a high-scoring game, we're certainly capable of putting up a lot of points. But over the last 2 weeks or so, we've kind of really reestablished ourselves on defense. We played some grinded-out type of games, 50 to 50, 60 to 60 type of games, low field goal percentage and things of that nature. So I think in a game like that, hopefully, we'll be prepared that if it favors our style and we've kind of got it in a lower scoring game and the defense is kind of holding teams in it, we're very comfortable playing that way as of late. But at the same time, we're not necessarily a team that only can win with defense, as we've shown with our offense. So if our defense does let us down a little bit, it's a higher scoring game. I think we'll be okay in that type of a game too.
One of the unique things about CIT is playing games on back-to-back days. As a coach, how do you prepare for that type of a schedule?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different for our group because we really get into a Wednesday, Saturday routine. And, even in some leagues, even if you don't play back-to-back, you at least maybe play Thursday and Saturday or Monday and Wednesday. So guys are not maybe as used to being fresh. Our guys are really used to having 2 days off. Sometimes even a day off, and then 2 days of practice in between the games. So it's definitely different for us, especially with it being this late in the year. I know ourselves, as well as the women's program, we always usually try to get at least 1 tournament, if not 2 a year. We were fortunate to host one this year where we do play back-to-back games, just so our players from a scouting report standpoint are familiar with that. And I really think, as much as anything, that's probably the biggest difference is the preparation. I think especially this year with some of our injuries, we've had a lot of different guys step up and play. So I think, in terms of depth, we'll be fine in that regard. We have guys that we can go to, and so I don't think playing 2 games in 2 days, just the physical fatigue will be a challenge. But it is different from, again, our guys are used to the game ends. We have 2 days to prepare for an opponent, 2 practices, and we can kind of gradually build up to getting ready for that game. Whereas at CIT or any type of tournament where you're playing the very next night, the game ends and you don't even really get an actual practice. You just get to watch some film, talk about them, maybe walk through some things, and then hope that your guys can pick it up and translate it in the game.
Coach, thanks for your time, and we're looking forward to a fun weekend at Nebraska.
Go Cards.